In this video, I'm going to be showing you some of the simple file manipulation that we need to be able to do in Camtasia once we have our video recorded. So what I've done is I've pulled an old file, an old recording that I did for my students, and I'm going to be using this to show some of the different aspects of Camtasia that you'll become very familiar with as we begin to use the program. So first, the basic layout. The first thing we have here is the preview window. Any changes that we make will be shown in this window. So if I throw an edit in there, it will show me what it will look like in this preview. Up on the left, we have two things we need to look at. The first one is the media bin. So anytime we add music or a video file or other media to a project, it will show up as a file within this gray area right here. And then to add it to the timeline, all we need to do is drag and drop. It's a very simple interface. Above that, we have our editing section. So right now I'm selected to the media bin portion, and that's what shows up here. If I want to move to a different tool, all I do is click on it and I get the menu or the options for that given tool. So I'll be showing you different tools that I use very frequently in my videos that you can begin to use as well as you learn about how to make screen recordings with Camtasia. On the bottom is the timeline, and what this shows is the preview window. We can drag the time of the video back and forth. So if I know at a certain time I want to make an edit, like at 1 minute, I can drag to 1 minute very quickly. I don't have to play the video to that 1 minute point in order to make an edit there. So the timeline is very, very handy, and you'll be learning how to use this very effectively to jump around your video and to make the edits that you need to make. But before we can get into any of that, we need to learn some basic file management principles. There's two kinds of files with Camtasia. The first one is called a CamProj, or a CMPROJ file. And what this is it's the edited file, or the editing file rather. So just like a Word document, we can open up a Word document, type into it, change it, save it as a Word document so we can go back and change it later. This is the same idea. This is the raw material, and these files are very, very large, unfortunately, so they can be hard to keep on your hard drive because they eat up space very quickly. A typical CamProj file, for a 5 to 10 minute video with edits and everything thrown in there can be up to 300 or 400 or even 500 megabytes at a time, so they eat up space very, very quickly. So if you have an external hard drive, that's what you're going to be starting to use it for, is to manage these files. But don't really stress about that yet, because with smaller videos, these files are a little bit smaller and they're easier to manage. So the CamProj is the one we want to edit. I'll be showing you how to export into MP4 or MOV or even MP3 files, and those are like PDFs for documents. They're uneditable. They're the finished product that you're then going to be sharing with people. So again, we'll be going through all of the different options as we move through the course. So just to make a simple save, you go to File and then you Save As, and it gives you a typical save dialog. Now I've already got mine saved, so I'm not going to rename it, but that's how you get to name the CamProj file itself. When we go to export it, it'll give us a different prompt. Unlike Jing, where it exports it automatically for you, Camtasia has other options built in, and those are found in the Share menu. When we go to Share, we see a menu drop down that says iTunes, Screencast.com, and YouTube. Now iTunes, this exports to the iTunes on your machine. So if you use iTunes to manage your media, that might be a good option. Typically, I don't use iTunes to watch videos, so I don't really use that option too frequently. But it's another way other teachers can help manage the files very quickly and easily. Screencast.com is the same that you logged into with Jing. So anytime you record a video, if you're using Screencast.com as your main video hosting site, instead of saving a file and then re-uploading it to Screencast, we can do it straight from Camtasia. So let's say I wanted to upload this file right away. I can click on Screencast and it prompts me to log in if you're not logged in, and then we give it a title, and then it gives us a slider here that lets us choose a smaller file, and you lose some quality of video, or a higher quality, but that gives you a larger file. So it's a simple interface, but we can't do anything like change the description or change which folder it goes into. It goes into a Camtasia folder that's created automatically. So again, that Screencast is fully integrated with Camtasia, which is a great, great resource to have. The third one is YouTube, and this one is the one I use most frequently because I put all of my content on YouTube and most of it on Screencast. And it's the same kind of thing. So when we click on YouTube, if you're not logged in already, it will prompt you to log in. So you can see I'm already signed in as my YouTube account. If I were to sign out, this is what it would look like. It would just ask for your email and password, very simple. And this one's a little more advanced. We can give our video a title, we can tag it straight into YouTube, and remember, tags are keywords or phrases that help people find your content in a search term box. And then we can give a short description. So this one in particular would be a Google Documents login, just showing kids how to log into their Google Docs folder through the school's domain. And then on YouTube, remember, we have these different privacy settings. If it's public, it means anyone on YouTube, anyone on the internet can find your video. If it's unlisted, this means that only people you send the link to can see it. So if you have student work or if you have students appearing and you don't have permission for them to be on YouTube on your account especially, you might want to make it unlisted so we're limiting the audience. Or we can have it be private. So if it's something you just want to save for later and then open up later for kids or for the world to see, that's something you can do. Private does not mean I cannot find it in a search. I cannot find it even if I know your YouTube account. It won't be shown at all. So again, make the privacy choice right from Camtasia as you're uploading the video. It's very integrated. Finally, the last thing we can do, if you don't want to quite put it on the internet yet, but you want to save it as a video file, we go to Share, and then we can export. And export saves it as an MP4 file, which is playable on just about any video player out there. Any computer, most mobile devices will play an MP4 file. And again, we get this slider that gives us a smaller file size, but we lose quality, or it gives us a higher quality, but we're adding a file size. So there's a trade-off there that you have to decide. And one thing that's great about the slider, if I change it and I don't want to have it that small, I can just hit the refresh. And this preset, about 3/4 of the way, is a pretty good file compression, a pretty good file that gets put out. So I typically just leave it here unless I'm doing something special. Finally, there's one more that's called the advanced export, and this would be if you're doing specialty video. So as you can see, it's a preset. This will save as an MP4 file. We can change this to an AVI if you're on a Windows machine. We can save it to a QuickTime if we're doing it specifically for iDevices. QuickTime plays on iDevice. We can save it to 3G if we want to optimize it for mobile viewing, mobile broadband. So again, if you're into specialty video work, this is something that might be great for you. If not, don't even worry about it. The regular export will be fine. So what I suggest doing is go back maybe to the last video and look at how to do the screen recording if you've forgotten. Make a simple screen recording and then share it. Send it to YouTube or send it to Screencast so we can get used to the manipulating of the file and the sharing properties that are found within Camtasia.